Right now, we are waking up to some fog this morning, but it is set to be the warmest weekend of the year so far. Chris will tell us just how warm we'll get and if we can expect any rain along with it. And it's time for tip-off. The Final Four begins in the Twin Cities today. We'll tell you how the Badgers will actually benefit even though they won't be taking the court. Plus, you can be a hero. The Wisconsin family's desperate call for help to make a miracle happen for their 5-month-old son in need of a partial liver transplant.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Saturday, April 6th. I'm Josh Breiter with meteorologist Chris Reese. Little interesting drive on the way to the station today.
Yeah, same for me, especially coming in from the west side. Here's a live look from our station camera right now. And one of the things that you will notice is, well, I'll let you tell me. Josh, what do you see?
Nothing.
Exactly. And that's what you see when you're driving as well. Nothing. It was rather foggy out there coming in this morning. If you were going to be out and about early, take it easy, folks, especially when you are outside of the city. Let's go ahead and show you visibility. The visibility in Janesville, zero. A quarter-mile visibility from Monroe up towards Mineral Point. Mount Horeb is not on here, but I'll tell you, folks, driving in from Mount Horeb, the visibility was zero. You could not see. It gets a little bit better as you get towards the east side of Madison, but then once you go towards the north and east outside of Madison, that visibility drops down again. No dense fog advisories, oddly enough, but that is out of my control, but do know, just treat it like there are dense fog advisories for everyone as you head out the door this morning. 44 degrees is the temperature, so we are a little bit milder, and those winds staying out of the south at 9, that's going to help usher in some additional warm temperatures as we go through the afternoon. 37 in Janesville right now, and a lot of us are in the 30s and 40s, but towards the west, those upper 40s are showing up already this morning. That is a sign of the warmer temperatures that are going to work their way in, but also we will have a shot at some cloud cover and showers moving in, especially towards the north of Madison. If you zoom things out, there's a large complex of showers and even thunderstorms just towards our north. I do think that's going to impact areas mainly north of us as we go throughout today, but we're going to see the cloud cover from that once the fog begins to lift. But check out that 64 this afternoon. Ooh. Yep, soak that up, folks. We've got another good day coming up for tomorrow, and then I'll be breaking down that extended forecast coming up as well.
Just got to get through that fog this morning.
Yes, you do. So take it easy. It's not Christmas time, but Rudolph would be needed right now.
Yeah, seriously. All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
New overnight, Fitchburg police are searching for 2 or 3 men after an armed robbery. Officers were originally called to High Ridge Trail just west of Fish Hatchery Road around 11 last night for a report of shots fired. After investigating, they found the sound heard was actually several people breaking into a vehicle in the parking lot and later the apartment associated with that car. Police believe the suspects were armed with handguns and a shotgun and stole items from the apartment before getting away. We have 2 possible suspect descriptions on the Channel 3000 mobile app. Police say this appears to be a targeted attack. Beloit police have issued an arrest warrant for a man they believe shot and killed someone during a drug deal gone bad earlier this year. Officers are searching for 38-year-old Jacob Davenport, who they believe shot James Thompson in early February. Police do not have Davenport in custody, but believe he could be in Texas. Police have identified the man accused of killing his wife in Wisconsin Dells. According to a criminal complaint, the suspect, 31-year-old Faud Paushavev, was already facing 11 domestic abuse charges from January. Police found his wife, 23-year-old Tetiana Hashvu, dead in a home in Washington Avenue during a welfare check on Thursday. Autopsy results are still pending this morning. Paushavev is currently being held in the Columbia County Jail awaiting formal charges in the death. The FBI has filed criminal charges against an Ohio man who claimed to be a missing boy from Illinois. The 23-year-old suspect, Brian Reaney, reportedly said he was Timothy Pitson, who disappeared 8 years ago at the age of 6, last seen in the Wisconsin Dells. Federal officials have charged him with lying to an FBI agent about his true identity after a DNA test proved who he actually was.
Mr. Reaney told agents that he learned this information from watching a 2020 episode about Timothy Pitson. We confirmed that there was such a 2020 episode and that, in fact, a rerun had aired just several weeks ago.
The real Timothy Pitson disappeared nearly 8 years ago, last seen at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells when he was just 6 years old. His mother was found dead in a Rockford hotel room of an apparent suicide. Federal investigators hope the fresh attention on this case will bring new clues. One of the men featured in the Netflix series Making a Murderer is now in a less secure prison this weekend. State records show Brendan Dassey was moved this week from the maximum security Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage to the Oshkosh Correctional Institution, which is a medium security prison. Dassey is serving a life sentence for helping his uncle Stephen Avery sexually assault and kill Teresa Halbach back in 2005. Dassey was 16 at the time and has argued for years that investigators coerced him into a confession. More local news at 5:05 this morning. There are almost 114,000 Americans waiting for an organ transplant this morning. About 2,000 of them are in Wisconsin, and another person is added to that list every 15 minutes across the country. Madison hospitals are recognizing that need and donors this week, where a special donor flag was raised outside UW Hospital and Meriter Hospital. It represents the 8 lives one donor can save. One area woman donated her kidney to a total stranger in August of 2015.
In 2009, I lost my mom to domestic violence. And as horrifying as that was, I knew that I wanted to find a special way to honor her life, especially because she brought life into this world every day, working as a nurse in the OB department. And my way that I found was to donate my kidney.
If you'd like to learn more about becoming an organ donor, visit donatelifewisconsin.org. Right now, a Wisconsin family is asking for your help in making a miracle happen. Their 5-month-old son is in need of a partial liver transplant. Doctors say Marcus Albers needs part of someone's liver in order to stay alive. His Waukesha family was told Marcus only has a few weeks to live, and that was a week and a half ago. He suffers from a rare disease called immune deficiency 47 that's already destroyed his own. There are only 12 other cases diagnosed in the world, and another one of them is Marcus's older brother, who's already 2 but will need a transplant in the future. Parents Whitney McLean and Tony Albers found out about the genetic disease while they were pregnant with Marcus, and now they're looking for someone outside of the family to save their son.
We had backups to backups apparently, but I guess they all fell through too, so it just was, I don't know, shocking today. But today was a bad day, you know.
It was a kick to the gut.
The family hopes someone who hears about Marcus will come forward to be a donor. The ideal donor will be someone with either O positive or negative blood, weighs under 150 pounds, and is under the age of 40. They should also be in good health, not a heavy drinker or smoker, and someone who has not been recently pregnant. On the Consumer Watch this weekend, your shopping may cost you a little less after Amazon and Whole Foods announced they're cutting prices this week with an emphasis on high-quality produce. About 500 products, including greens, tomatoes, and fruits, will be discounted. Customers will save an average of 20% with the new prices. The Amazon-owned chain increased prices back in February. The company issued a statement saying they will continue to focus on both lowering prices and bringing the customers quality they trust. The parent company of Pick and Save is planning to stop using plastic bags in stores by 2025. A spokesperson says the transition will include consumer feedback to try and find the best alternative. Plastic bags can take 10 to 1,000 years to decompose, and 100 billion of those end up in landfills across the country every year. When Kroger-owned stores get rid of their plastic bags, 6 billion fewer bags will be placed in landfills every year. April is National Distracted Driver Awareness Month, and AAA has started a new campaign to raise awareness about drivers who use their smartphones behind the wheel. 2 years ago, Didi Gonzalez was hit head-on by a driver who was texting. She spent months in a wheelchair and then had to learn how to walk all over again. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says 9 people are killed every day as a result of distracted driving. Many of the distractions come from smartphones. This month, AAA has rolled out a public service campaign to get drivers' eyes back on the road.
People who would never get behind the wheel after drinking alcohol, yet don't think twice about getting behind the wheel and using that smartphone to text or email somebody.
There's nothing on your phone while you're driving that is more important than my life or someone else's life. There's just not.
A recent survey finds 97% of drivers say texting or emailing behind the wheel is a serious safety threat. Among those same drivers, 45% admit to reading a text or email behind the wheel within the last month, and 35% admit to sending a text or email. Well, it is almost tip-off time. The Final Four starts this afternoon right here on News 3 Now. Michigan State, Texas Tech, Auburn, and Virginia all arrived in the Twin Cities ahead of their games. Even though the Badgers aren't in the Final Four this year, they could still benefit. The Big Ten is expected to bring in about $38 million from the tournament, thanks to the number of teams in the field and how far each team advanced. That's the most out of any conference this year. The money will be split equally among the conference's 14 schools. Again, you can catch the Final Four on News 3 Now starting tonight with Auburn and Virginia just after 5, followed by Texas Tech and Michigan State right before 8. The national championship game is Monday night. Well, if your family is looking for a one-tank weekend trip out of Madison this spring, behind-the-scenes tours at the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee are scheduled to start up in a couple of weeks. The tours will be 90 minutes long, giving fans a chance to learn more about the history of the Milwaukee Bucks. The tour shows off areas like the floor of the bowl, the Bucks locker room, and the interview room. Tickets are $15 for adults and $12 for kids. The first public tour is April 19th. Speaking of the Bucks, if you pick up a copy of Sports Illustrated this weekend, you'll see a familiar face. Giannis Antetokounmpo is gracing the cover of the latest issue. The story outlines the beginning stages of his relationship with his coach, who was drawn to become the new head coach last year because of Giannis's talent. The article explains how a notebook plays a big role in Giannis's process, allowing him to go back and take a look at the conversations he has with coaches. And it seems to be paying off as he's a top contender for MVP.
He walked in and he said, thank you for putting me the Sports Illustrated cover. I was like, what are you talking about? And then he said, you're on the cover. And I was like, okay, good to know. I didn't know that. I just, woke up, got my stuff, came to practice. And he was happy that he was in the background. And I was like, yeah, I got you, bro. Like, that's what. You planned that. Yeah, I definitely planned that.
The Bucks play the Nets at 4 o'clock this afternoon. All right, 12 minutes past 5 right now, and it is a foggy start to this Saturday, but that shouldn't stop us from warming up today. Let's take a live look outside this morning. Again, not much to see out there this morning. That fog is thick. Chris is tracking those mild temperatures and the chance for rain and storms this weekend when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Well, no dense fog advisories, but the visibility is low out there from the fog that has rolled on into town overnight. And if you are hitting the road, be sure to take it easy out there. Here's a live look from the Edgewater sky cam. Hard to see the Capitol as you look in that direction, but also visibilities just across the area in general range from 0 upwards to about half a mile to 1.25 miles here in the actual city of Madison, especially where that fog is. Now, outside of the fog, things of course are a lot better. That's going to be mainly towards the north and west where we do have rain coming down right now. Temperature wise, it is 44. Winds out of the south at 10. That's what's helping usher in some of those milder temperatures along with the fog that came in overnight. 37 in Janesville right now, 45 in Lone Rock, Viroqua at 46, and check out La Crosse at 47. Those warmer temperatures towards the south and west, that's what's going to be moving in as we go later through the morning and into the afternoon. Doppler track, of course, we're dry in the immediate area, but just to the west, we have seen some showers working their way into town. You actually have a complex of showers and thunderstorms over southern Minnesota right now. That's going to roll in later, and I think that's going to impact areas mainly well north of Madison. We should not see any major impacts from that. If anything, we actually do have a chance to see some sunshine later on today, and get this, temperatures topping out around 64. So again, I can't rule out that chance of a shower mainly north of Madison, but for most of us, it is going to be a fantastic afternoon going through your Saturday. Now into Sunday, that's where things are going to be a little bit different. We'll see those lows around 50, clouds moving in. Showers and thunderstorms will be around as we go into your Sunday. Not a complete washout, folks, but it's going to be hit and miss. Essentially kind of off and on shower and thunderstorm chances all day as we go through your Sunday. But we've got a big unsettled pattern that's going to keep things a little bit stormy through the weekend, but we're actually going to start to turn a little bit more active as well. Strong jet stream over the Pacific is bringing in more storm systems to the United States. That's also going to be bringing the possibility of severe weather across the south today and into tomorrow. And then we will have to watch a system throughout the middle of the week. While yesterday that was looking like a significant snow, overnight models have trended north, which means that could now possibly be a severe weather event for us. Again, the track of that low is going to be important, either snow or severe weather. It's essentially what we're going to be dealing with by the middle of the week. Right now, a chance for a mix is what we have in our forecast, but things are going to be unsettled for the next several days, Josh.
Just loving these 60s for the weekend.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, as these temperatures warm up, a new study shows a certain kind of electronic music could help repel mosquitoes. The BBC cites a study conducted by a team of international scientists finding certain sounds can affect mosquito reproduction and population maintenance. Researchers tested a song by dubstep artist Skrillex, finding the mixture of high and low frequencies distracted females from biting people. It also decreased the frequency at which mosquitoes reproduced. 5:18 right now. Tickets are now on sale for the highly anticipated new Avengers movie. We'll tell you why you'll want to get your tickets soon. And there are several shows and movies for you to enjoy this weekend. Will has 3 things to watch when News 3 Now This Morning returns. Welcome back at 5:22 in entertainment news this morning. The man who sings about showgirls at the Copacabana will be spending a little more time in his own showroom. Barry Manilow's residency will be extended through October at the Westgate International Theater in Las Vegas. The singer also has a new album called Night Songs 2, which will be released in June. Manilow calls this a standard piano album, like having him in your own living room singing for you. Tickets are now on sale for the highly anticipated Avengers Endgame, but you'll want to get your tickets soon if you're interested in seeing the film later this month. The movie opens up nationwide April 26th. This week it sets Fandango's first day pre-sales record in only 6 hours, overtaking Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The fan frenzy also crashed AMC's website and ticketing app. For true Marvel movie lovers, select theaters are also showing a marathon of all 22 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting April 23rd and culminating with the Avengers Endgame. All right, you have a marathon of your own this weekend, and if you're looking for your suggestions of what's worth it, Will Loper has you covered with 3 things to watch.
Is the Beetle for sale?
Yours, kid. Happy birthday.
New on home video this week is Bumblebee.
Oh my God. What are you?
Haley Steinfeld stars as Charlie, who finds an old beat-up VW Bug and finds out, yep, it's a Transformer in the surprisingly highly reviewed film.
Here's the deal. People can be terrible about things they don't understand. From now on, the only person you can show yourself around is me. Oh, I'm good. No, I'm good, thanks.
Bumblebee is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Holy.
Need help, sir?
Also arriving on home video this week is The Mule. Clint Eastwood stars in the true life story as a man in his 80s who finds himself smuggling drugs for a cartel and starts getting tracked by the DEA.
I didn't deserve forgiveness. This is the last one.
The Mule is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry for everything.
Hello, Katerina. Make anyone cry today?
Sadly, no. But it's only 4:30.
Finally, this week marks the 20-year anniversary of 1999's 10 Things I Hate About You.
Hi, how you doing? Would any of you be interested in dating Katerina Stratford?
Maybe if we were the last 2 people alive and there were no sheep. Are there sheep?
The film, which is based on Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a high schooler who must get bad boy Heath Ledger to start dating the unpleasant Kat Stratford, played by Julia Stiles, so that he can date her younger sister.
You're gonna pay me to take out some chick.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
$20.
Fine, 30.
10 Things I Hate About You is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
You can't just buy me a guitar every time you screw up, you know.
Yeah, I know. But then, you know, there's always drums and bass and maybe even one day a tambourine.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
If you enjoy thrillers with a spectacular underwater scene, there's a good chance those films will be made in Belgium in the future. The most advanced underwater film studio in the world just opened there. The brand new water studio is the most specialized in the world. Until now, film recordings with large water effects were reserved for outdoor water studios. Work can also be carried out faster, safer, and cheaper. With a touch of a button, you can create waves. The studio is about the same size as an Olympic swimming pool, but 33 feet deep. 5:27 right now. There's more local news ahead for us, including the latest on an armed robbery in Fitchburg overnight and the ongoing search for the men involved. Plus, the construction changes, delays, and headaches you should know about before heading out the door this weekend. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. Right now, after a desperate move for her child's safety overseas, we'll show you an emotional reunion 15 years in the making.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and thanks for staying with us on this Saturday, April 6th. It is 5:30 in the morning right now. I'm Josh Breiter. We'll check in with Chris on a warm weekend forecast in just a moment. But first, new overnight, Fitchburg police are searching for 2 or 3 men after an armed robbery. Officers were originally called to High Ridge Trail just west of Fish Hatchery Road around 11 last night for a report of shots fired. After investigating, they found the sound heard was actually several people breaking into a vehicle in the parking lot and later the apartment associated with that car. Police believe the suspects were armed with handguns and a shotgun and stole items from the apartment before getting away. We have 2 possible suspect descriptions on the Channel 3000 mobile app. Police say this appears to be a targeted attack. Your weekend shopping may cost you less after Amazon and Whole Foods announced they're cutting prices this week with an emphasis on high-quality produce. About 500 products, including greens, tomatoes, and fruits, will be discounted. Customers will save an average of 20% with the new prices. The Amazon-owned grocery chain increased prices back in February. The company issued a statement saying they will continue to focus on both lowering prices and bringing customers the quality they trust. Here's an extra reason to keep your eyes on the road this weekend. April is National Distracted Driver Awareness Month, and AAA has started a new campaign to raise awareness about drivers who use their smartphones behind the wheel. A recent survey finds 97% of drivers say texting or emailing behind the wheel is a serious safety threat. But among those same drivers, 45% admit to reading a text or email behind the wheel within the last month, and 35% admit to sending a text or email. You'll want to leave some extra time if you're driving through downtown this weekend, as work is now underway for the $3.5 million street reconstruction project surrounding the intersection of John Nolan Drive and Willie Street. This project affects many of the connecting streets and paths. The city hopes to have the project finished by mid-August. The other major project happening right now is on Johnson Street, where crews are tackling around 3,000 feet of roadway between Baldwin Street all the way to First Street. 5:33 is your time right now, and a foggy start to this Saturday morning out there, Chris.
That's right, Josh. If you're getting ready to hit the street in your car, do be prepared for that fog that is out there. Visibility, folks, has really started to come down. A quarter-mile visibility as you work your way towards Watertown, half-a-mile visibility in the city of Madison. Outside of the city, especially once you get towards the west side, things get pretty rough. I mean, zero visibility in Mineral Point, a quarter-mile visibility down towards Monroe. So, folks, give yourself the extra time that you are going to need. This is the Edgewater Sky Cam. You cannot see the dome of the Capitol right now, so that tells you just how foggy it is. The temperature 44, winds out of the south at 7. That's going to continue to pump in some of those warmer temperatures as we go throughout your day. 39 in Janesville right now, Lone Rock at 45, Viroqua at 46, same for Prairie du Chien. Temperatures are a little bit warmer as you work your way towards the south and west, but that's also where we are seeing a little bit more in the way of some shower activity as the disturbance begins to work its way on in. Check out the showers and thunderstorms that you see right now over southern Minnesota. That is going to impact areas mainly north of us as we go throughout the day, so do expect that cloud cover to stick around. I can't rule out the chance of some showers, but temperatures are warming up through the 50s, and we're talking 60s this afternoon, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. 5:34 right now. Imagine being so desperate for your child's safety that you put her in the hands of a complete stranger and rely on him to do the right thing. That's the situation one mother faced 15 years ago as she tried to get her daughter out of a war-ravaged nation and to the U.S. for medical care. Here's Dana Jacobson.
20-year-old Maya Hughes and her mother, Zainab Cisse, who simply goes by Z, call California home. But 15 years ago, the two were on an extended African stay in Z's native Sierra Leone.
Yeah, I wanted her to learn every bit of my background, kind of get back to my roots and visit my grandmother. Maya picked up on speaking Creole within 2 weeks of when we got there and completely forgot how to speak English.
It was a fun adventure.
But Sierra Leone had just emerged from a devastating civil war and was not an easy place for a mother and small child.
I hadn't thought of that so thoroughly to know that the country is still not in the shape that it should be in.
One night, a fire broke out in Maya's room, burning the mattress she was sleeping on. Z raced to rescue her.
I remember the pajamas I was wearing. I remember smoke. I don't remember much after that.
She couldn't stay here anymore, and I gathered every penny I owned at that moment, went to the airport, only had enough money to go buy a ticket just for her, and that is where the story of Tom Perriello began.
We can build things. Tom Perriello is a former U.S. congressman, but at the time, he was a young lawyer in Sierra Leone working on a war crimes court. He was at the airport to fly home for his grandmother's funeral.
I got to the front of the line, and the airline attendant said, "You're Tom Perriello, right?" And which I got from time to time, and I said, "Sure."
So we get to the airport to ask the counter clerk to see who was traveling to the United States. She goes in Creole, "Dat white man," meaning that white man over there is traveling. I approached him. I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "Could you please travel with my daughter? It's an emergency."
And of course, my response was, no, and may I repeat, heck no.
And so I pleaded with him, and he finally said, "Okay, I'll do it."
The two strangers boarded a plane to head home. But first, they had to make a stop in Côte d'Ivoire, then a second stop in Brussels, Belgium, before heading to the States. In all, about 7,500 miles and 20 hours of travel.
I was just crying and crying, and he's trying to calm me down.
This is a long and complicated journey that frankly had plenty of drama and complications along the way.
He was singing to me on the plane. I remember that he was singing in Creole.
It wasn't even just that I knew one song. It was just basically one verse over and over again for about an hour.
When they landed at Dulles Airport in Virginia, Perriello got the little girl safely to her grandmother. But it was too late to make his connecting flight. He missed his own grandmother's funeral. Z would join Maya about a month after she sent her daughter to the U.S. For 15 years, they never saw or spoke to Perriello. They never had the chance to thank him until now. We arranged for a face-to-face reunion in New York City after the trio reconnected by email thanks to one of Z's cousins.
For 15 years, I felt like I've been looking for a ghost, a person that didn't exist.
What was that like downstairs?
That was crazy, unexpected.
Is this closure in a way for all of you, or is it the start of something else?
I feel like it's the start of something else. I want to call it closure, but it feels like a new beginning because I refound him.
How do you thank someone for what he did for you?
You don't. You can't, honestly. I can never thank him enough. No matter what I do from this point forward, it will never be enough for what he did.
You have lots of reasons to say no to something, and there are moments to say yes, and I'm really glad that I did in that case, as crazy as it was.
I don't want to cry, but I'm really emotional about it because I feel like he saved my life, because if I would have stayed, I don't know where I would have been. I think it was destiny because it could have been anybody and anything could have happened, and he brought me back here, so I don't think I can say thank you, really.
Dana Jacobson reporting. All right, 5:39 right now. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you and the whole family. From a film festival perfect for movie lovers of all ages to a dance show and a controversial musical. Your Weekend 608 is coming right up on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 5:42, and it is the weekend in the 608.
That's right, Josh, and here's a look at what's going on around town.
First up, the Wisconsin Film Festival is underway from now until next Thursday. When it ends, 153 full-length and short films from 25 countries will be shown at 5 different venues in town. The films include documentaries, animation, and experimental films. The festival also shows films appropriate for kids.
All right, the Line Breaks Festival also continues this weekend in the Play Circle Theater at the UW Memorial Union. It's a 5-day-long showcase for current and former students of the UW-Madison's First Wave Hip Hop Scholarship Program, including musical performances, theater, dance, poetry readings, visual art, and academic talks. The festival is now in its 13th year.
All right, a touring Broadway musical is also in town. Miss Saigon, one of the longest-running musicals on Broadway, is set during the Vietnam War, and is controversial for its dated caricatures of the Vietnamese people. A UW Asian Studies professor wrote an essay about the stereotypes, and the Overture Center scheduled, then canceled a panel discussion to address those concerns. The show runs through tomorrow.
And as always, you can pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best right here in the Madison area.
And it looks like it's going to be a spectacular weekend to get outside. I know we plan to break out the tennis rackets today and for the first time this year.
That's right. A great day indeed. A small chance of showers, but you're looking live over the Capitol this morning. I'll have your full weekend forecast coming right up.
But first, we want to say happy birthday to Lennox and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning.
Well, good Saturday morning, folks. It is the fog that we have been dealing with around town. This is a live look at the Capitol right now. You can't see the rotunda there, so things are certainly foggy here in town. Visibility is a lot lower depending on where you are, especially on the west side of town. Visibility down near to 0 or half a mile. Here in town, we're at 1.25 miles. You work your way towards the south and east. Janesville, you guys have 0 visibility. Juneau, also with 0 visibility. Watertown, about 1/4 mile visibility. The moral of the story, it's foggy out. Take it slow if you are going to be out early this morning. The temperature 43 degrees, and we do still have a south and southwesterly wind at 7. That's ushering in more moisture along with some warmer temperatures that are going to move in this afternoon. 43 in Mineral Point right now, 45 in Lone Rock. Prairie du Chien at 46, La Crosse at 47. The general theme is that we are a lot warmer towards the south and west. That's what's going to be working its way on into town as we go through time. Those warmer temperatures along with the possibility of some showers. We've been tracking those this morning. Heavier shower and even thunderstorm activity as you work your way towards the south of the Twin Cities over towards Rochester and Austin, Minnesota. That's going to begin to impact parts of central and northern Wisconsin as we go through today. You see that on Future Track. Most of that again is going to be north of us. Our temperatures by 9:30 close to 50 degrees. Then there's actually a possibility that we will see just enough of a break in the action to see some sunshine in here, a strong south wind, temperatures that are working their way into the middle 60s. So get outside and enjoy that, especially today, folks. Tomorrow's going to be warm as well, but the thing is we are going to have that chance for more showers and thunderstorms returning to the picture. This is 4:30 in the afternoon tomorrow. So get outside today, enjoy it while you can. It won't be a washout tomorrow, but things will certainly be unsettled. We're overall in an unsettled pattern that's going to turn more active as we go through time, because we are actually watching a powerful jet stream, not just here, but across the Pacific Ocean that's bringing in more storm systems towards the west coast. And as that happens, that's going to send some powerful lows down through the Four Corners and then up towards the Great Lakes. This is actually going to lead to possibilities of severe weather as well. We've got a very strong probability of severe weather across the deep south today. These storms that you see in West Texas right now are going to become a major severe weather event for the deep south today and into tomorrow as well. That one comes as close as parts of central Illinois. But then as we move towards the middle of the week, we have a system that looked like perhaps a snowmaker up in recent days, but overnight the change in this one is that it has trended north and now looks like a possible severe weather maker for us. So we are going to watch the possibility of that along with the overall track of that low very, very closely, my friends. In the meantime, we do have a chance for a wintry mix going through the middle of the week, but that forecast will be changing and getting tweaked as we get closer. In the meantime, dry earlier on and perhaps some nice weather this afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms for Sunday, but temperatures in the mid and upper 60s.
We'll just focus on this weekend and worry about that later on.
Focus on this weekend for now.
All right, Chris, thank you. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and Pat posted this on Facebook. It's of a sunrise in rural Orfordville. Check that out. A beautiful shot right there. Thank you so much for sharing, Pat. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 social media pages using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. All right, we've got more local news ahead for you this morning at 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow morning, starting at 6:30, we're heading to Hilldale to check out Crescendo, the outdoor mall's latest coffee, breakfast, and music joint. How they found success expanding as other restaurants struggle. But first, meet the 65-year-old former major leaguer staging a comeback to the game he loves. Why this return to the field is much different than his first go-around. This is News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 5:54. Jerry Manuel played ball throughout the 70s and 80s and managed the Sox and Mets in the 90s and 2000s. Now he's staging a comeback.
But it's probably not what you think. Mark Strassman catches up with the former big leaguer with a new mission.
On this field in Northern California, Jerry Manuel is staging a baseball comeback.
1, 2, 3,
He's getting young black athletes back in the game.
This was farmland, this was high grass, this was anything but a baseball field.
Manuel built the field and their interest in the game.
Take it back, thanks.
He's 65, a retired big league player and manager, something rare these days. Since 1986, the number of black players on major league rosters has dropped from 19% to 8%.
A bat's $300. Some of these travel programs charge you $1,000 a month.
Not happening.
Not happening. I got to do what I can do with my experience and my resources to make a change.
What would correlation mean to you?
Like a pattern?
In 2013, he launched Alpha Charter High School. Its baseball-themed curriculum emphasizes excellence through repetition in the classroom and on the field, and teaches trailblazer Jackie Robinson's character values: courage, determination, teamwork.
You can't get on the field until you get that right. And once that's right, then you can get on the field.
You got to earn it.
You got to earn it.
More than 30 kids play here now, most from challenging backgrounds.
Good.
Some have been homeless.
Does your family have the money to do travel ball?
No, sir.
Ronnie Belton's 17 and has a scholarship to play college baseball.
I didn't have a father growing up in the picture, so we didn't have the financial stability. So I want to find a way to help my family out.
Baseball could be your ticket.
Yes, sir.
Come get it. The goal is to make them better men, make them better human beings. They're out here to see you put your best foot forward. If you can learn self-discipline, you got a chance to make some inroads in life.
See you guys tomorrow.
They'll play on prettier fields, but this is the one they'll always remember. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Alberta, California.
Lots of green grass there, and I would imagine over the next couple weeks here, it's going to be looking green around here.
I was just about to say that was a story that makes you ready for springtime and summer. Of course, we've got a spring-like pattern coming up for today and tomorrow as well. We are talking temperatures, folks, that are going into the middle and upper 60s, along with some chances of rain and thunder. Not a complete washout of a weekend. There's certainly going to be several dry hours in the mix that are going to feel good as well. By the middle of the week, we're watching that system. The track of that low is important. That's going to be the difference between significant snow or severe weather around here. So one or the other, folks. We will, of course, keep you guys up to date. Here is your pet walk.
Oh,
I'm melted.
Good day to get outside. We'll see you again at 8, everyone. Thanks for joining us.